I can just hang up on people. Like lickety split, baby. Welcome to Good Morning New Hell City. Baby, oh, I'm feeling very randy, baby. You'll know why I'm doing that accent in a second. Announcements, none. Zero, no announcements. Weather, hot. Summer, love it. No AC, never. Banned, death. Here's a rich thing I bought. I haven't bought anything rich lately. Isn't that wild? Oh no, that's not true. I bought a ticket to Nollam's to stay at a haunted hotel for 4 days. It cost me $1,800. Oh baby, baby. Oh, best thing I've seen on the internet. Oh, I saw RuPaul's Drag Race season 7. The latest lip sync was a spoken word piece from Designing Women. If you don't know what Designing Women is, you're not old enough. You need to get into the 80s, honey. Get into the 80s. Bitch, I'm hungry. I'm usually eating on the podcast, and today is no different. I'm eating salt and vinegar chips. Very nautical. Love it. Game Corner. I just finished platinuming The Quarry, which I very much enjoyed. Makers of Until Dawn. And I'm currently playing Fire Emblem Three Heroes, which I keep calling Three Warriors. Different game. Then there's Weeb Corner. I am in the middle of reading Junji Ito. I've just checked out all of his books that can be checked out at the library. I'm in the middle of reading Dissolving Classroom. It's wonderful. I'll talk about it later. I'm also finishing Nana, which is one of the greatest manga series I've ever read in my life. My afterlife. Human Corner. Humans are terrible. They're terrible, terrible, terrible people. Don't engage with them because instead we're going to talk to, honestly, a true New Hell City legend. I this guest has been on the pod once before, and he has had quite the trajectory. Um, he is an 11. Well, he started out as the biggest loser in the Hellies in the very first Hellies, and is now the I think second most winningest member in the Hellies. He has 11 Helly awards. He is a beast. He has run several successful D&D campaigns. He dipped into the RP community for some iconic characters. He is the Weebiest Weeb, currently reigning. He runs Who's That Wednesday. He does everything. He does everything that you could never do. Folks, help me put your tentacles and butts together for the King of Weebs, Nollam. Nollam!
Hello, Fire.
Hello, Fire. Hello, Nollam. And hello to everyone. Nollam,
Tried to respond in a way that completely deflated
thank you.
all of the hype you were building
I
up.
really appreciate you doing that. That's what you do. You live to undercut me, don't you? That's what your job
Of
is.
course,
Mm-hmm. 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 Uh-huh.
the mods have to rein you in.
The Rain me in. Do. Nollam, how welcome to Good Morning New Hell City once again. This is your second time, correct?
Think it might be third because I was in one of the Cryptidverse podcasts as well.
Oh yeah, so technically this is your third. That's right. It's your second official interview, third time on the pod in total. Okay, all right. Nollam, how is life? How's life for you this year, 2022?
Melting.
Melting, yeah. I hear it's yeah. We I did fly over to the UK, the UK, to have this interview, and it's very hot, and I love it. I
Just
love heat.
keep trying that accent, Fire. I'm sure that eventually, one day, you'll sound somewhere close.
you, are you saying I don't sound like you? Are you saying that my Nalum impression is bad? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sure that your cutting in and out is for effect.
Yeah, it
Fire.
is. It is for effect. Thank you very much. Thank you
You are
very
breaking
much.
up, Fire.
You're breaking up. Hang on one second. That's fine. You're fine. Can you hear me now? Can you? How about now? How about now? Uh oh. Nalum? Nollam, are you there? Nollam, can you hear me?
I can somewhat hear you, but you're very crackling.
Oh, very strange. I feel like this is your fault.
I
I
am here.
I
I
think
can somewhat hear you.
okay. I think the effect might be bad Wi-Fi POV. Fuck you, Sayori. Um, Nollam, how how
Yes, my dear.
yeah. Oh God, this is gonna be such a janky interview. Um, Nollam, um, tell us about your day.
So I got up. I read some manga and light novels. I ate, had a drink, read some more manga and light novels, watched some anime, ate, then more anime, manga, and light novels.
Is this normally how your day goes? Do you normally do this every day?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Um, Nalam, do you remember on your last interview? I can't remember. Did we go over? Was this before the 2021 Hellies or after?
it was before the Hellies,
Okay,
and we did our predictions ish.
very good. Okay, that's why I will be going over your Helly Award wins. Good to know.
I don't remember any of my predictions.
You'll have to go back and look at your predictions. Okay, good to know. Good to know.
I'm sure I predicted something.
But did you predict them correctly? Is that what is that's the real question? Did you predict them correctly? Well, this isn't about the Hellies just yet. We'll get to that part. We'll get to that part now. Later. Um, Nalam, my question
No
to you.
idea.
Yeah, okay. Um, my question to you is what is your favorite part about New Hell City currently?
Maybe the D&D section,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
because we've been doing quite a lot of good D&D recently.
I think so. I think so. What is your favorite channel?
I'd say anime chat, but
Really?
it's not always the greatest.
I thought you were gonna say Justice Chat. How dare you? It's
No,
so.
it can't be Justice Chat. The most recent comment in that was by a fire demon.
Oh, it sounds like someone that's really, really sexy and has a lot of money and a very powerful um, nether region.
Yep, three things that I completely dislike in people. So
What is the biggest difference between Nollam of 2021 and Nollam of 2022?
I've watched a little bit more anime and read a little bit more manga, and I've started to learn Japanese.
That is probably the biggest thing. I would definitely say you've really undertaken a a new career as a cunning linguist for one language. So my next question is, who is your best friend here? And if you don't say me and only me, I will what? Ban you.
Of course, it's you, Fire,
That's it.
because I don't want to be banned.
That's it. Thank you. I run by fear. Fear is the only way that I love. That's why I don't have any children. Right, Nolan? Do I look pretty today?
You do have children.
What? What are you talking about? What?
Let me tell you a story for everyone who's
What? What?
listening.
What? Wait,
You
what?
see, one time, Fire and I, we were playing D&D, and some other people were playing, including Dragoon. I'm
False.
sure she's been on, and Spider,
Can't be
and
proven.
Gig. And so
Don't know them.
we were just playing, things were going normally, and then Fire suddenly, oh no, I have to leave. One of my kids has a nosebleed, and then left.
Never
And
said
then
that.
the rest of the group were suddenly shocked that, wait a minute, all of these times that Fire's brought up his kids, he wasn't lying?
Yeah, I see this. There's no way to prove this story actually happened. I would never say one of my kids because A, I don't have any children. How dare you? Kids are disgusting. And if you are the baby, you can't wait. If you have a baby, you can't be the baby. And clearly, I'm the baby, so I would never have kids. Um, and these rumors that you heard children, Dragoon likes to say that she heard children over the mic, which I don't believe is true. And none of this can be proven. So it's all just hearsay and slander, right?
While I'm pretty sure that you actually recorded that stream,
No, no, don't go looking
but
for it.
I think you finished the recording before you got the full reactions to just everyone realizing that maybe half of the stories that Fire tell are true after all.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're going to move on with the next question. I'm assuming you think I look pretty today, clearly, because yes, I look pretty today, don't I? Don't I?
I'm trying to also sidestep that this time.
Wow, wow, how dare you? How dare you tell me you're going to sidestep it, and then me allow you to sidestep it? Disgusting. Um,
Yeah, I called you pretty last time, so we need to spice things up.
oh, okay. Is that a spicing it up? All right, fair enough. Nollam, it's no secret that you live in one of the most ostentatious homes in New Hell City because of how many Hellies you are and because of how tenured of a member you are. So, what does your New Hell City humble abode look like now? What changes have you made over the years?
The only change is all of the shelves are now filled with anime, books, video games, to the point that I've started to have a pile of things on my desk
That's fair.
because there's not enough walls.
Not enough walls. I mean, your New Hell City home should be humongous by this point, unless you chose not to have it get bigger, which would be wild. I mean, Nalam, you should be one of the richest members in New Hell City at this point.
And I'll just answer a question in chat. No, I do not have a waifu body pillow.
um,
And Fire's laughing because despite being an anime fan, that is very, very out of character for me to have something like that. And so Fire finds that question hilarious.
the idea of you sleeping in the body pillows tickles me to no end. Um, that's phenomenal. I'm still stuck on this. So you have so many hellies. You've been here forever, and you don't have a humongous New Hell City place.
Oh, I mainly keep to my office, of course.
Of course, that's fair enough.
Who
Yeah,
needs a bedroom when you don't sleep?
that's a little serial killerish and kind of creepy, but I kind of support it. Yeah, I don't know that anyone's ever gone over to Nollam's place. I'm assuming Nollam has a house. I don't know. Check in on Nollam if he doesn't have armed guards like I do at my Mule City place. Let's talk about the cryptids. You have been assigned to cryptid research. You head the cryptid research team for 2022. Do you know any way to stop them?
Of course, Fire. Pit them against you.
That's not fair. No, don't do that, people. Well, let's slide right on into your helis. We're gonna go over your 2021 helis, of which you did pretty well. Um, and you were at the helis this year, weren't you? Were you last year?
For a bit, but
The
they
Helis
lasted
Festival.
how many hours?
We got it down to 4 this time. 4 is pretty good.
So I believe I hopped into the chat a couple times to accept awards, but other than that, I was more just doing other things.
After a while, Nollam just won too many awards, so he thought he'd leave the ceremony. Can you imagine if Meryl Streep was just at the Oscars going, "I'm winning too much," and then she just was like, "I'm gonna go get a burger," and then she left. That's Nollam at the Hellies. That's Nollam. How
You
dare?
know, if I ever go to a really large award ceremony,
You have the Hellies, but
I might
continue.
actually do that just for the style points.
Oh god, oh gosh.
Thank you for the idea, Fire.
Oh, God. So the first nomination you had was for best NHC meme, for which, oh boy, I forgot about this. How did I forget about this? For rapid fire, would you like to explain the rapid fire meme, which I'm going to post in chat right now? I can't believe I forgot about this. Oh boy.
So basically, for all of the memes I made that year, it was just take anime or anime-esque screenshots, get all of the speech bubbles, white them out, and put new things in the speech bubbles. And for rapid fire, it is mainly one to post when Fire tries to start his rapid fire part of these podcasts. Because Fire sounded so happy about the pun the first few times he did this podcast, so it seemed appropriate that we're going to make fun of the fact
It is a
that he
great
calls it
pun.
rapid fire.
It is a great pun because my name's Fire and the questions come rapidly. Okay? All right? It's a great pun.
And you explained that pun so many times that you definitely need a meme about it.
Wow. Wow. Well, unfortunately, that one didn't win. Thank you, Hellions. I appreciate that. One that was just as offensive, one was Dio's. Um, you were also nominated. This is your first time being nominated for Best Dish for the delectable cookie brownies. Now, if anyone knows Nollam, they know that you are a brownie fiend. What
Not
inspired?
just a brownie fiend,
Okay.
also cookies and chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. I didn't know about your love of cookies so much, but
Well, when I say cookies, I mean it in a British sense that it's chocolate chip cookies, and not in an American sense that it's just biscuits in general.
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, I forgot to be talking about your placements on these. Rapid Fire got last place. Just wanted to rub that in your face. But
I'm not a very memey person, Fire. Though somehow I'm nominated for Meme Meister this year,
oh great. Oh great. Um
which
yeah.
that isn't an unusual nomination for me.
Yeah, well, there you are. So your best dish, you were nominated against oh, let me go back down. You were one of 13 nominees. Pizza, pies, flour cookies, cupcakes, uh, uh, meatballs, sushi twice. Where do you think you placed highly? Where do you think you ranked on that best dish voting
Uh,
scale?
Middle
71
to bottom.
voters. Yes, you were second to last, which is not bad. Not bad.
I expected something like that.
Yeah, they don't appreciate the sweets here in New Hill City. I don't like that. Although the sweet did win this time, but um, justice for sweets. That's all I gotta say. Justice for sweets. Um,
Justice for justice,
justice for
too.
justice too. We'll get there. Don't worry. I'll be thanking you at some point in this interview for this. You were also nominated for a new category, Awesome Activist. This was a funny category because, as we recently had with Soph's interview, uh, you were in second place. Do you know by how much you were in second place?
Nope.
Oh, Soph beat you by one vote, which
Good for Soph.
Soph was Soph was shocked by, and she thought was hilarious. How do you feel about? I mean, you were in the lead for actually a very long time. How do you feel about people responding to your activism?
I am very happy that people have responded to me posting about mainly trans and autistic rights.
We stand. We stand.
I was not expecting to have it be this close because I think Soph's done a really great job with this sort of stuff.
That's true. We love Soph.
So I think that it was a deserved win for them.
We appreciate activism of all kinds. You were also nominated for. Oh, we gotta pull over and talk about this. So Nollam, it's been a very sort of legend of the Weebiest Weeb because Nollam has been snubbed for the win of Weebiest Weeb twice, and it's almost become a running joke at this point because My Hero Deku wins has won twice in a row. Um,
Third time's the charm, baby.
I can't believe you said that. Um, we it was rumored that this would be Nollam's year finally, that Nollam would finally win the coveted title of Weebiest Weeb. And Nollam, how did it end up going? So there were 16 nominees. You were the first nominee. You had 58 wins or responses, which votes.
Yep, I had 58
You have
wins.
58 wins. You might as well have. How did you fare on Weebiest Weeb in 2021?
Well, things went as they should. I won, and it's a huge sign that Deku has become a normie, I believe.
I think he has. Yeah, he went to college and now he completely shed all of that. He's no longer into comic books, Spider-Man. He hates all that stuff. He's like, I'm out
Well,
here.
comic books and Spider-Man are very mainstream recently.
Yeah, it's true. I guess he would be cool if he did that, but he's not in the Deku thing. He's done with it. Done with it. Over it. He is mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the weebiest of them all? Um, here's a great question, Nalam. Do you know how much you won by? So you had 16 nominees. Um,
No idea.
so you won Weebiest Weeb by 51. You had 51% of the votes. You had more than half the votes. So if I'm looking at the
That's
pie
quite
chart,
impressive.
it's incredibly impressive. It is possibly one of the greatest leads we've ever seen in New Hell City Hellstory. Um, you are basically it's I want to take a picture. It's just Nollam's blue chunk and then the rest of the folks. I got third place in that one. How dare you? And Deku got second place.
Yeah,
Um,
Fire, you really should have gotten last
how
because everyone
dare
knows you're too cool for that.
I see you trying to make. You know what? I'll take that. I think that's a compliment, so I'm gonna keep it. I'm keeping it. Um, you were also nominated. Oh, I should have had this one prepared. Oh, first of all, well, tell me, how did you feel about winning Weebiest Weeb finally? This is a big moment.
It was my moment. I threw the bouquet of flowers into the crowd. Everyone cheered.
That's
And
true.
now apparently some people are getting married. So
Not me. Yeah, it
the
was
world became a better place.
it really did. You finally got what you deserved. I mean, you've been told me that this was the one that you wanted to win the most. That none of the other ones mattered.
That is half true. The other half to it is I thought it would also be funny if I didn't get it.
Got everything else but
So
that.
it was half wanting to get it and half, but the joke of me never getting it is also quite funny.
That is true. Well, you got it and then some. So that's Nalam's first win of the night. You were also nominated for Best Scenic Screenshot for Aerith's Had a Makeover from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Tell us about this screenshot.
I think it's the worst screenshot out of the ones that was submitted for me, but
Did you have only FF7 Remake in your folder? I don't remember.
no, I had some pathologic and
That's
other
right.
stuff as well.
That's
It's
right.
like, well, would it be classed as scenic? The person being lit on fire at a stake?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's the one I voted for. I think that's the one I
That
voted
was
for.
my favorite of them.
Yeah.
But I also liked a lot of my FF7 at wall market picks,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
which I spent far too much time in the Final Fantasy VII Remake as Cloud in a dress, just walking slowly through all of Wall Market, trying to find every photo opportunity I could.
Well, this is why, folks, you gotta look at your folder and take stuff out. Yeah, this one got last place. I think we all sabotaged my sweet baby Nollam because he could have won with that pathologic screenshot. So do better. Do better next time. Although this is a cute one. It's cute. I'm not gonna lie. You were also nominated for Clip of the Year. We only had three nominees for Clip of the Year. For Too Many Spider, I need to find this one to pull it up. I think. Well, I'll have to send you all.
I tweeted it, so
Oh yes, if you can find that tweet and post it in chat. Um, t-
okay.
Too Many Spider. You can explain this while you are in the midst of posting it.
So, me playing Bloodborne, doing the Chalice dungeons, and there are some rooms there that basically infinitely spawn spiders,
Ugh.
and I was trying to just quickly run past everything, but it ended up having so many spiders that I couldn't just run past them. It was basically the entire room was filled with spiders to the point that you can't move.
Gross. 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 Out of the three, between Fire Demon's Banana Ass clip and Sig's Coroni clip, where do you think you placed?
Last place.
Untrue. Second place.
Hmm.
You lost by 2 votes. 2 votes. So not bad. You actually almost won. Story of Nollam's
I'm
life.
surprised about that.
Yeah.
Usually it's the really short, Fire said something really weird things that tend to win.
This is true, and I don't remember what banana ass is. Oh, right, I was talking about sticking a banana up my ass. It's very Bardian behavior. Yes.
Yep,
So, you got.
very heli winning behavior.
Yeah, it's also true. If you want to win a heli, just be gross. You got 40% of the votes, which is pretty good. You were also moving right along, nominated for Gamiest Gamer alongside Fire Demon 2021, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Zozo 64, Sergeant Pepper, Nep Spartan, Wired Vex, and Minnie. Um, you did not win this. Do you think you deserve to win this? Pepper did win this.
Mm, I don't feel like I deserve to win it.
Fair enough. Where do you think you ranked? You had 58
Maybe
votes, 7.
middle-ish.
Interesting, you said middle-ish. Well, if it's 7 nominees and you got third, is that middle-ish? Does that count as middle-ish?
Middle-ish counts for there, I guess.
Yep.
It's actually higher than I expected, though.
Goddamn Pepper beat me. I got second place. I should have won. Don't you think so?
No, I think Pepper winning is decent. I think Sig winning would have also been pretty decent.
Sig wasn't even nominated. The Inhumanity. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Minnie also would be a good pick.
Well, there's rumors that Minnie might be sweeping it this year. Minnie might be taking Streamer of the Year and Gamiest Gamer, which I can't let that happen. I can't. I just simply can't. I
No, you just
can't.
can't
I
buy it.
can't. I can't. Now we're gonna get into my favorite part of your heli section, which is the tabletop area, the D&D stuff. You were nominated for best tabletop character for your illustrious turn as Anne from Chaos Gremlin Crew. Now, Nalum, I want you to explain the genesis of Anne, who Anne is, everything. Give us the full Anne tea, please, and thank you.
So Anne is both the cutest and the strongest. Anne is a 7-foot tall metal woman in a maid outfit who can destroy entire worlds with her hands.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
We love Anne.
She is also only 1 year old because she is an android, hence the name,
Oh yeah.
and thus very inexperienced about the world, and thus does not understand a lot of things, including how terrified half of the party is of her, and the best way to solve problems, which for her is punch, usually.
That's fair. That's fair. We love Anne. Yes, please hang out with us in Chaos Gremlin Crew every other Sunday to listen to Anne's antics. This is probably my. I'm thinking.
And
Go ahead.
Anne's introduction to that campaign was her defeating the door for her master by punching the door, knocking it off its hinges, and then expecting to be praised for it.
Anna's great. Anna's really great. This is probably my favorite category. One of my favorite categories of last year's Hellies because I think it's an incredibly perfect, solid nominee list. If I do say so myself. So you were nominated
Did
against.
the one shot?
No, not the one shot. The character. We're
Oh,
gonna get to the one shot. My God.
I thought you were being sarcastic there
No.
because
We'll get there. We'll get there. You were nominated against Bath from Justice in Chains, played by the one and only Fire Demon 2021. Raz from Chaos Gremlin Crew, played by Spider Monkey. Ash from Justice in Chains, played by Haru. In Ilya from Justice in Chains, played by Sea Dragoon. So I don't know if you were you here for the win that almost was. Um, do you remember what I told you about this category?
nope,
So
I'm not
you don't remember anything.
overly enthused about the Hellies.
God damn it!
I think they're a nice little thing,
How dare
but
you?
they do not consume my life.
How dare you? How dare you? They should consume everyone's life. Evil.
Anime consumes my life via.
That is true. That's
There
fair.
is very little room for others.
So Anne, Bath, and Raz were actually tied for the lead for about a week. So like the week leading up to the Hellies, it was the three of us to win.
Which makes sense since those three characters are the biggest personalities.
That is true. That is true. Um, so you ended up losing to Bath from Justice in Chains, played by me. Fair enough. Um, do you, where do you think Anne placed?
I'll say second since you're bringing this up.
Yep, she did place second. And do you know by how much?
Not by much. A single
A
vote.
single vote. A single vote. Yeah, Raz ended up getting so it's 43 votes. Raz got 9, Anne got 13, Bath got 14. So you're almost tied for the
Surprised that
win.
Raz ended up falling behind towards the end
I
there.
know. I know. I was actually really excited for a three-way tie. That would have been kind of iconic. I love Raz and Anne. I think they're fun.
So let's have those three be the three-way tie for this year.
For this, okay, fair enough. Let's do it. So I mean, Nollam, I also feel like I owe you a thank you for my win as Bath because you are my fearless DM leader for Justice in Chains. So thank you.
And Bath this year has had quite the character arc,
I know. Bath is getting the full anime character arc. I'm telling you, the full CBS primetime This Is Us character arc. Um,
which was originally devised by Fire Demon and then forgotten by Fire Demon.
yep.
So he was surprised when I brought up facts about Bath that Fire forgot.
Yep. See, that's the great thing about being my friend is that you can surprise me all the time with news that you've already told me. So there you go. Let's see. So the next nomination you had was for Best Tabletop Cast, of which you were part of Chaos Gremlin Crew. You were with that's with Kittens, Dragoon, Spider Monkey, and Fire Demon 2021. You ended up losing, which is kind of funny. You ended up losing to your own campaign, which you're not a part of technically, which is Justice in Chains. You're up against Dawnbreak Eternal Fire, which is it's funny. You DM'd three half of this half. Oh wait, no, 4/6 of his cast. You DM'd. Is that 2/3? I don't know. So Dawnbreak Eternal Fire, Dawnbreak Arachnophobia, Dawnbreak Witches Tea Party, Justice in Chains, Chaos Gremlin Crew, and Occult Wizardry Law Enforcement. Do you think Justin Chains deserved to get best tabletop cast?
Is a pretty good cast. It's difficult to say, but
Yes,
both Chaos Gremlins and Justice both share quite a few people.
that's true. That's true.
It's basically sharing the what is basically the NHC core D&D players,
That is true.
because you, myself, Dragoon, and Spider are basically in everything.
Basically, we're not DMing or being in the thing. Um, so do you know what got second place? Can you guess possibly what got second place? I bet you can't actually.
Since you're saying it like that, I'll just guess for the arachnophobia,
Arachnophobia got second place by one vote. My God,
which,
it's hilarious.
yep, I think that was by far my weakest one shot, but it
It
had Phil as part of the cast,
Yes, I
so
think that very much helped the votes because
yeah,
people love Phil and Phil's famous. Fair enough. Does not diminish Phil's talent. Um, yeah, it was a weird one. That was
yeah, it's just that the group didn't gel for some
so
whatever reason.
strange. It was the most interesting like tabletop experience because it was like everyone in the
It
cast is
should have worked on paper,
very
but
talented. Yeah, everyone is like good at D&D, good at characters, and then like no one gelled together. It's very strange. It was very, very, very strange. Yeah, it beat Chaos Gremlin Crew, which is kind of wild to me. Gremlin got third place, which I think is, but that was also a three-way tie almost. It was Arachnophobia, Chaos, and Justice were tied for about a couple days right before the final vote, which is interesting to me. Interesting. I don't know. Um, so Justice now at this point has two helis, which is kind of cool. Speaks to Justice. You were also made heli Helstery by being the first Hellion ever to win a heli completely uncontested. That's right, Nollam won a heli
well,
with no other nominees.
there was several nominees. It's just they were all me.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's true. They're all nominated. They're all Nollam nominees. So all you had to do was just pick from Nollam's folder, and he won. So you won for Dawnbreak Witch's Tea Party. Are you happy that that's the one that won from your one shot folder?
Out of all of those one shots, the best two was Witch's Tea Party and the Eternal Fire.
Yeah.
So, of course, the one out of the two that did win is the one that had you in. It was the debut of B. Steve.
Oh, see, that's the thing. Swift and I were trying to figure. I kept trying to figure out which one was which for each of the one shots, and I couldn't remember. Um, Witch's Tea Party really had B. Steve?
Yep,
Where's the one where I played um, Excelsior? Was that in
that
yours?
was. Yep, but that was the very first one.
That was the.
Sorrow Sworn.
Oh, that one didn't get nominated for
That one didn't get
cast.
nominated for cast because there was only two cast members and one of them was banned by the time of the voting.
Oh, right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, how did you feel about winning uncontested for Heli?
I thought it was pretty interesting because the year before there was enough one shots, I believe. And this year there's definitely enough one shots.
Oh yes. Oh
So
yes.
it's just one odd year where only I'm doing it.
It was very strange. Very very strange. I don't know if it'll ever happen again. Like honestly, for any category, I don't think it'll ever happen again. So that's interesting. Um, Nalam, you completely once again dominate the tabletop space in the Hellies for best NHC tabletop short or long form campaign. You're up against Chaos Gremlin Crew and Occult Wizardry Law Enforcement, and you continue your two streak of best tabletop short/long form campaign with Justice in Chains. How'd you feel about winning?
When it comes to winning best campaign, it's not just the DM, it's also the cast that matters, though. So thank you, Fire.
You're welcome. I was waiting. I was just
Also,
waiting for you to say that.
thank you, Haru, thank you, Spider, and thank you, Dragoon, as well.
I mean, Justice is a
It's
really
all
good
of us
game.
together and making the really absolutely insane turns of events that happen.
It's so good. Justice in Chains is so
When the
freaking
first
good.
few episodes had Fire's character going into things that I should have killed his character off several times, then I'm going, no, I can't kill him off in the first session for jumping out of moving vehicles just so then he doesn't have to pay. So I'll roll half the dice that you're supposed to take for the damage. So I'm not insta-killing you
Oh my god. Well, wait.
and permanently killing you in the first session.
We should. I didn't know that. We should back up. Tell the kids what Justice in Chains is about. Give us the rundown about the synopsis of Justice in Chains.
So Justice in Chains is a fantasy modern day murder mystery where one of the members of the Platinum Dragon Detective Agency has been framed for murder, and it's up for the cast to figure out the conspiracy that's going through New Hell City. The only thing is, they've basically forgotten about Justice and her being framed, and they've just gone off to do their own random things.
And do you want to describe the characters?
There is Bath, a homeless rapper with a knife in his head,
Yeah, well,
which
someone
is,
has
of
to.
course, played by Fire. There is Ash, who is the daughter of some very nice people who definitely do not engage in organized crime.
Mm-hmm. Also, the richest one of the group.
And then there is Elia, who she has killed people in a car race.
I love that.
And despite it being set in modern day, she is using bows and arrows. Though bomb bows and arrows,
We're still
she
learning
may
about
be a
Ilya.
serial killer.
Yeah.
And then, after all of these really crazy people, we have Spider's character, Lewis, who is a middle-aged dragonborn who's just working at the detective agency to earn enough money for his daughter, who he shares custody with his ex-wife.
Oh my gosh. It's Justice in Chains is so good, y'all, and it's also based off of like New Hell City, right? It
Yep,
has like
mixed with the Yakuza games, mixed with D&D in general.
yeah, it's so and like sometimes the cryptids pop in there, sometimes some of the Hellions pop in there. It's a truly incredible campaign, and it runs every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you ever get a chance to listen in, you absolutely should. Otherwise, you should look at Nollam's Twitch page. No, you could look at what is it, Case Files?
Yep,
Yeah.
all
Uh,
of the videos that are saved is in the case files.
yes. Go in there. Get into Justice in Chains. It is. You'll
Several
see. Go ahead.
several episodes have been lost due to technical difficulties.
We got some good ones though. So get in there and listen to Justin James. You will see why it won best D&D campaign and why I think it might win again this year. I don't know. We'll see. Um okay, so you were also nominated you are one of the prestigious elite few who have never lost this next award that you won, which is Game Master of the Year. You're up against Gigert and Dio. How does it feel to have never lost Game Master of the Year? You've only ever won that.
I don't think I deserved it for the first year. I think Spider should have took it, though I am grateful for the other years. Since I feel like I have improved, I think Spider still could have took them, and I'm still getting better as a DM, but I think I am miles better than I was when I first started.
I think you've always been good. Are you more proud? Here's a question. Are you more proud of your Justice win or your Dawnbreak win?
I think I'm more proud of my Dawnbreak win.
How dare.
Maybe? Not sure.
Yeah, you think about that. Because I wasn't in Dawnbreak, Nollam.
Yep, that's why I'm saying it.
How dare you?
Because you have star power.
How dare you?
So justice being tied to you makes it more likely to win than Dawnbreak.
I mean, what can I say? I am a star.
Yep.
Um,
You are a star just like Bath.
that is true. Oh, we are the same. Exactly the same. Well, I don't know if I want to be exactly the same as Bath. So you were also nominated for Best Roleplay Character, which is funny because this is the first time you're getting into the roleplay space. Um, and
And the only time.
the only time, yes, I don't imagine we'll see you there for a while. Um, but oh, I wish you'd come into CV12. You could play with me for just a little bit. Anyway, think about it. You had a few characters in your arsenal in your folder, or a couple, and the one that won was Isidore Immortel from Enemy of the State. So
Well, I think out of my two characters, either could have won out of those two, but it's funny that Isidore was the one when halfway through Enemy of the State, everyone hated him.
hated Isidore. Really, truly hated Isidore. So Enemy of the State was CV 6, I think. And it was set in like the I don't know, fucking Bolshevik. No, what is the time period? I forgot. Like the 30s or the 40s or 50s, something like that. And this group of young, sort of mercenary slash terrorists have been charged with treason, and they get sent to this prison camp for kids, where it is revealed that they are turning kids into food, um, and also making them sort of zombie-like. And Isidore, explain who Isidore is in this little party.
Isidore is pretty crazy. He thinks the world revolves around him.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he's the smartest person who ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs his ego stroked at all points.
Yep.
To the point that he sold out the rest of the group
Oh yeah.
pretty easily when a guard just gave him the minimum of respect.
Yeah.
He just turned on the rest of the group pretty quickly because he was saying nicer things than they were, and he'll go with whoever says the nicer things about him.
Oh my god. And Isidore has probably one of the most iconic scenes in the CV canon, which is where, oh god, you're trying to make me remember. I brought this up, and of course I can't remember anything. But there's a point at which the characters are hooked up to this machine where they have to kind of go through these things, and these trials, and they have to do a specific combination of things to get out of the cycle.
And it's all in their head,
Yes, right.
basically.
Yes, thank you. Don't
Think
remember
of
what
it
this.
as if you die in the game, you die in real life sort of situation.
Yes, very Sword Art Online.
But it was all their own mindscapes.
Yes. So it's all based on like some part of their personality that's very, prevalent within them. And
And
Isidore's,
so,
yeah, go ahead, you
and
explain
so
it.
Isidore had to fight against an army of himself.
So relatable. So relatable. Yeah, he ended up being like a public in his sort of fantasy land. He was a public speaker. Everyone was like obsessed with him, and then like another public speaker would like challenge him, and so his popularity was waning, and then eventually Isidore had to like fight through an army of himself, and it was a metaphor for ego death.
Except for in Isidore's case, fighting against lots of himself basically just fed into his ego. So he actually handled that pretty well.
Yeah, I guess he did. I guess he did. Um, so out
It
of
was the giant glowy boy that actually did most of the problems for Isidore in the end.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, Isidore was the last one to die at the very, very last second.
And he could have gotten out as well, but both it was Leah who was the other one
Yeah,
living at the time.
that's right.
Both of us misread how you described the scene, and so we thought it was best to just wait in the room. And so that made things a lot worse for both of us. Leah
Yeah,
still managed to escape, but the way you described the scene, we thought that we just had to hide because we couldn't do anything else.
it's very Until
And
Dawn
so,
moment. Yeah.
and so, due to miscommunication, Isidore dies.
Are you still salty about that?
No, I think it's funny.
Well, Isidore was an iconic character. Out of 23 nominees, we had a really big roleplay character list. 23 nominees. Where do you think Isidore placed?
Towards the bottom of the upper third.
I don't even know that. That sounds like math. You got fourth place. So there you go.
So, yeah, about where I was thinking.
Fourth place. Not bad.
I was thinking, yeah, fourth, fifth, sixth, that sort of area.
I mean, Nollam, I will say, you being in roleplay, I mean, you did an incredible job as a role player. I think it should happen
Miku was
again.
also
Yeah,
pretty great.
Nico's
Starting
amazing.
out being very meek to the point that you were laughing that she was saying some of the stuff that some people in the Discord were saying,
Very well played. It's like, oh my god, so
which
good.
I wasn't meaning to say the exact same things as some people in the Discord were. It's just that I was playing the character pretty well, only for her to reveal her true colors when we had to do a rap battle
Oh, that was so good. That was
where
so good.
it just developed until, oh, yes, the hints about her being a cult leader came out, and she started to show how charismatic cult leaders actually are.
My god. So great. So great.
Well, it was actually supposed to be an insult battle, wasn't it? But
Insult
then
battle, yeah.
Miku was the one who turned it into a rap battle,
Oh yes. So we both
doing
play
song
rappers.
parodies.
Miku and Bath need to hang out. Maybe they get along. Probably not though. They're too fully into themselves. Um, so you were also nominated for Best Roleplay Cast twice for Enemy of the State and Circles. Which here's so you both lost. Spoiler alert: Seven Sins won, of course. Which of the two casts do you think ranked higher, Circles or Enemy of the State?
So I think Circles will rank higher, but I think that the Enemy of the State cast was better.
I would agree, but you're correct. Circles got second place. Enemy of the State ranked. Let me see where it ranked. I think roleplay. Um. Oh no, it didn't get last, did it? That's rude.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, you must have at least voted for it if you did. Oh yeah, it did get last. Yeah, it got last. Wow. Justice for Enemy of the State. How dare?
I think I gave a vote to Enemy of the State.
I think so. I think it deserves. Enemy of the State is great. It's a great roleplay. If you haven't read it, it's really great. The cast is really phenomenal, and it's a smaller cast than um most of the CVs, so
And
it
I think
gets.
that really helped it as well.
Oh yeah, it was a really good
Sometimes
fun one.
bigger casts make things go a little bit more off the rails and meandering.
Way yeah, much more complicated. And I also think that I think that everyone kind of in Enemy of the State brought out a different sort of style than they were used to. Like I think Leah's normally used to used to playing a little more childish characters. And her the character there was childish as well, but it was different. I think mostly because of Isadora and Boria, and yeah, it was good. And Katya, yeah, that was probably my favorite Swift character as well. Good stuff. Good stuff. We love to see it. Um, so moving out of the role play stuff, you were also nominated, I think for the first time, for best traditional art piece. Wait, or best digital art piece? Excuse me.
Digital, I haven't ever uploaded a traditional.
That's right. Yet you haven't. Um, and it's for Anne the Living Doll, which I'm about to post right now. Tell us about. I mean, you obviously drew your famed, almost Telly Award winning character, Anne.
Well, I was just messing around with different art styles, and that's what I ended up with. I did actually put details on the face, but then I didn't like how the details went, so I just removed them.
Mm-hmm. I like that better. I think that was a better choice. I think it looks
Yep.
cooler. Looks cooler like that. I'm gonna post it here. Is this how she looks? Is she always dressed in black? Is this how you always envisioned her? That she's sort of
Can
like
you
this.
repeat that, Fire?
Oh, sorry. I was saying, is this how we're meant to look at her? Is she always dressed in black?
Yes, she always dresses in black gothololly dresses, though I was thinking with white lacework and maybe white frills.
Love it.
I did put lacework in that one, but I didn't really put any frills.
I love it. I love it. More art from
But
Nollam.
very Victorian dresses,
Not
because gothololly dresses are the best dresses.
they are the best dresses. Um, that is true. That's what I'm wearing right now for you, Nollam. Clearly. Um, yeah, Nellum, this was like the year where you tried like new stuff. I'm kind of just now noticing this. You like got into art, you like got into role play. I was like, okay, all
Well,
right.
I always am doing a little bit of art, but
Yeah, you put yourself out there. I like it. I like it. I like it. Um, so you were also nominated for Best Quote. Best Quote has to date the most nominees ever in a heli category ever.
that sounds
50.
like a pain for you, Fire.
Yeah, it is. 52 nominees, and out of 52 nominees, you won for the second year in a row. Which is funny
It
because
is.
this first one was called the first one you won was for best traditional art piece, and this one was for best pet. Care to explain
Mhm.
yourself and why you keep making fun of me, Nalam? Huh? 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 Huh?
Because Fire, making fun of you gets all them views.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah, you won the very, very large category. How does it feel to win against 52 other people?
I think it was, in a way, somewhat inevitable with a quote that jokes about you in that specific way, since it's won 2 years in a row, basically.
Yeah, 2 years in a row.
I didn't even remember that I had made that sort of joke before and it won a heli.
Won a freaking heli. Oh shit, I need to post it. Yeah, this is the quote that
I preferred some of my other quotes, but of course, this one is about you, so it wins.
Yep, that's all you got to do. You just got to link it to me. I'm the ticket. I am the ticket.
Yep, because
Um,
I preferred my one with Kitten, where she was saying how she hasn't worn a bikini all year, so she's forgotten how to draw them. And then I just chime in with, yeah, me too with COVID. I just haven't worn a bikini all year either. And she was rolling on the floor laughing with that one.
How's it feel to be
And
so
then
funny?
half of the time I do it on automatic. I'm not even thinking about trying to be funny. It's just a response that automatically kicks in. Comments that I just need to say.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then realizing, oh, wait, that's very sarcastic and people love it. What's going on? And another one that you really enjoyed was me doing my new RP ideas.
Which one was that? I don't remember that one.
Enemy of the Stake, I think
Oh
one of them
God.
was,
Oh boy.
where an entire group has to go to a kitchen and eat food and all this sort of stuff. You remember that one now,
I do not remember that one. Yeah,
where
that's
I
good.
made a parody version of every single one of your cryptid verse and then submitted them to you.
That was good. I did enjoy. I do remember that one. I wish I'd saved that one. I wish I'd delete that one. Well, if someone go find that. That's funny. You were also
Well,
nominated.
it'll be harder for people to find since the original was put in the council chambers, so
Oh
that's mod
shit.
only, but
Oh
there
well.
should be a screenshot somewhere.
Someone can find it. You were also nominated for best level up for what I called the brownie, where you said, "I'm doing fine. I was walking indoors when I saw a light. It was a lamp. Then I sat down with my laptop. I also had a drink. Oh, and I ate a chocolate brownie despite having dinner time soon or having dinner soon." How did you feel about that being leveled up? I imagine you didn't nominate that one.
I don't think I nominated that either. I don't find it particularly funny, but that's just a general sort of statement about how things are going. Usually every day, but
It's very Nollam. It's a very Nollam that you wrote that, and it's also b very Nollam that you don't think that that is funny because you're like, I'm just
I don't
talking.
think, yeah, that's just my life. Is my life a comedy?
Yeah. You didn't know you were living in a comedy?
I guess the Fire and I starring in a roommate sitcom is eventually going to happen.
It sure is. It certainly is. You were
I
also
guess that's the same with my quotes.
that is true.
I just say things, then they get nominated for being best quote, and I'm just reacting to things.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Well,
Why is people laughing?
here you are being funny. You were also nominated for an award you won the first year it was put into place, which is Best New Hell City Event for Nollam's Who's That Wednesday. And you lost to this very podcast, which you were being interviewed on, Good Morning New Hell City. You're also up against So's featured artists, Pepper's gaming news coverage, Down by Sixes Today in Sports History, Song of the Day by Ray, and Daily Positivity by Leah. Did you expect to win this one?
No, I thought Good Morning New Hell City would win,
Yeah.
but I was hoping to win
Do you know where you placed? Can you guess where you placed?
second.
Third, actually.
Hmm.
So's featured artist got second. That was a tough category, but you got a good chunk of the votes. You got 16% of the votes, which is pretty good for this one. Good stuff. Good stuff. Every Wednesday, check the anime channel. Yeah, anime channel
Yep.
for Who's That Wednesday. Uh,
It's What's That Wednesday
what's
this year.
Oh yes, it's What's That Wednesday now. Um, so
And
yeah,
the weird thing about What That Wednesday this year is that I'm also doing it in Phil's Discord. I'm giving them a completely different hint and different opening to guess.
smart.
But I was thinking, oh, maybe I should just do once I get to around this point in the year, since it's about halfway, to then just reuse the Phil ones in this Discord and use the Fire ones in Phil's Discord, but the thing is, there's some people who are in both.
Mm-hmm. And who pay
So I'm
attention to
just,
both.
so I was just going, I'm going to wait a while before I'm going to reuse them. I've still got every single one saved, so I can post them again, but I'm just thinking if I bring them back, maybe it'll be in a year or two.
Fair enough.
But we'll see what I do next year,
I see what
because
you
I
mean.
need to change it up slightly every year.
The final nomination you got for 2021 was Mod of the Year. You're up against your fellow coworker Spider Monkey, Aragorn, Dio, Sage, Kitten, Princess Zoe, and Down by Six. Um, Nollam, you did not win, but do you know where you placed?
I think you told me I was second,
Third. You were very close to second. You were third. You were third. So
which I'm always surprised with that one scoring so high up,
people say
just
every year they're
because
going to vote for you. Every year people are like, Nollam's going to win. Nollam's going to win.
because I feel like I'm quite a quiet person. So, but I somehow am I charismatic fire?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but you are. You really are.
It's weird how I feel like, oh, I'm just a quiet person. I mainly just lurk and check, read everything as a mod to just make sure everything's working fine. Only speaking up if I feel like I have to intervene in things. Because often I'm just, let's just keep watch when people are doing wrong. And I'll only step in if, yes, I think it's going too far because I'm not going to crush people's dreams just yet.
Just yet. Yes, which kind of mod do you think you are? I know I forgot all the. We have 6 categories of mods. Um,
I can't remember the
I
categories,
can't.
so
I know you're not a therapy mod. You're like a I don't know. See, I don't remember the 6 things.
whenever I do therapy mod stuff, I'm more of I just ask simple questions and just show that I'm listening and let them just dump everything.
There you go.
So it's just I'm okay, that sounds bad. Or okay, that's good. And then they are just giving me paragraph after paragraph, and I'm just, that's nice.
That's
So
nice.
that's how I do therapy mod, which I don't think is the most effective, but every
Most
so
repeatable.
often it seems to work.
There it is. So, Nalam, you ended up winning. How many did you win that year? Last year was that 6, 8? I forgot. Not 8. One. Hang on, I'm gonna count. So
You go fire.
it's
I
gonna
can
happen.
believe in
2,
you.
3, 4.
It's not more than 10, so you've got enough fingers for it.
Uh huh. I think it was 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, it was 5. You got 5 helis, bringing your total to 11 helis. You have 11 helis, Nalam. You are the second. You are tied for the second most winningest heli, heli, heli in the server. How does it feel?
It feels pretty good. Is number one Dio?
First of all, how dare you? Second of all, Dio and I are tied for number one.
So I'd say I'm more third then.
Is that how that works? I don't know. Are you planning on getting more
I
helis
thought
than me
that
this year? Is that what you're gonna do?
I thought that's how it works with when people have joint first. You then skip second and jump straight to third.
Oh, see, I don't do that. I would say joint second. You were tied with consistently depressed though. You and CD have are neck and neck. So now let's go through your helis for this year and see what you think you're gonna win. Because I recall you saying that you wanted to win more helis than me. So let's see if you're gonna do it.
Oh, I don't need to win many helis this year because maybe this is the year that you get completely wiping you're the biggest loser, Fire.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The idea of me being the biggest loser, I can't even. I can't even. How dare you even? How dare you even suggest
I
that?
I think that would be pretty funny though,
Oh, do you? Oh,
if
do
you
you?
become biggest loser one year.
If I become biggest loser 1 year, everyone's getting sued. I'm suing everyone. You're all getting served papers. You are nominated for best NHC meme for Poor Fire. Oh boy, what is this? What is this? Do you want to explain this? Do you know what this is as I'm about to post it?
Nope.
Oh,
I might remember it when I see it posted, but
Poor Fire is coming up soon. Best NHC meme. Let me see. Oh gosh, this is so silly. You're not even gonna like this. I know. Here we go. This is Nollam's
oh
entry
no. What did I do?
for best.
It's one of these things I did on autopilot, isn't it?
This is Nollam's entry for best NHC meme entitled "Poor Fire."
Is that it?
That's it.
That's nomination worthy?
Yeah, someone did it.
Oh no.
You can always remove it, by the
I'm
way.
sorry. No, I'm gonna leave it there so it can fail because
That's how. Nollam, you should have kids. That's
it,
exactly how you raise kids. Leave it there so it should
it
fail.
deserves to fail. So I'm just going to leave it there.
God.
And when it fails, I'm just going to go, that is how things should be. Or if it wins, I will say that something is wrong with this world. We need to just wipe everything out and restart.
We knew that. I forgot to say also you were nominated for 17 Hellies so far this year, and your next one is from Meme Maester. I imagine for your new resurgence of nonsense memes you've been posting, right?
Yeah, which mainly just AI generated ones, so they don't make sense. And I find some of them pretty funny.
I find all of them very funny.
Like if I just post a new one right in here, it's just you can sort of see how an AI would generate this. It's supposed to be inspirational quotes
That's great.
the AI generates, but
That's great. Who are you voting for? Who
so
do you think? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
so the way it just you can tell that the AI is really trying with inspirational quotes because it has the right sort of structure to the sentence and it has all of the words. But when you read it, you just, it takes a moment and then you go, that doesn't make sense. Or that isn't actually inspirational. Though occasionally when I see that bot create ones that are actually wholesome, I'll then go, okay, I have to post that one because that's actually a nice one.
Cute. Between Zozo, Iceman, Fibercon, Sergeant Pepper, Devon Warlord, Mini, Soph, and Sayori, who's in chat right now, who do you think is going to win? Yourself included.
I
Meme
have to give
Maester.
it to Devon.
Really? Okay. All right. All right. I would like to see Devon make a
Just that
comeback.
Devon is basically a living meme.
He is a living meme. He is a living meme. That is true. Justice for Devon. You're also nominated for Best Dish once again. This time something a little more savory. Tell us about this dish that you prepared semi recently. Tell us
It
all
was
about it.
tasty. It is karage, which is a Japanese fried chicken dish.
Okay. Okay.
And I got ketchup and I just put it all over in a weird sort of artistic pattern, which I do with every meal when I use ketchup. I always put it over in that sort of pattern.
Love it. Love it. Was it tasty?
Even when I'm making burgers and I then put it and then put the bun over the top, I'll still put that sort of pattern.
Perfect. Yummy. I'm hungry. Um, Weebiest Weeb, do you think you'll win it again? You're up against Pancake, new challenger, Zoe, Swiftcut Lassie, Vel, Polaris, and Minnie. You think you're going to win Weebiest Weeb once again, Nollam?
I think I might.
You think you might. So who do you think your biggest competition is this year, if you think you might?
I think Zoe.
Zoe. Well, to be fair, Zoe's never won a heli, so I might have to root for her this year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Um,
Because
yeah.
I think the two most vocal people in anime chat has been myself and her.
And she also gets into manga. She really gets into it. Yeah.
So I'd say we're the two front runners, but we can always be surprised.
Always be. So we often are. We often are with Allies. There's at least a couple surprises. You were also nominated for Best Scenic Screenshot from your time when you were really into Scarlet Nexus. This is untitled. You should title it at some point. Um, Tell us about this
I thought,
screenshot. Or did you?
okay, when it loads,
It'll get there. It'll get there.
yes,
Oh, it's called
people
Becoming a
die when
Buddha.
they're killed fire.
Yeah, Becoming a Buddha.
I thought I named all of them.
You did name this one. Yeah, Becoming a Buddha. Um, I have just not updated it on my sheet. Yeah. Tell us that. Yeah, what did you feel about this one?
You see fire, an ancient Japanese proverb. People die when they're killed.
Oh yeah, that ancient Chinese proverb or Japanese proverb. That's yeah, I know that one well. I think um, Kojima said that, right? Someone probably did.
And yep, Minnie gets the reference. So, Minnie, you may be able to also win Weebiest Weeb if you understand all the references I make, which one time, though, I made a reference to a reference and was surprised that my sister knew I was referencing a reference. Because
Oh
I was,
gosh.
one time I referenced Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei referencing Dragon Ball Z, and I was surprised that it wasn't just getting the Dragon Ball Z, but getting that it was Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei referencing Dragon Ball Z. That made me just stop and think, is she telepathic?
Um, you were also nominated for Clip of the Year for this one, which is clipped by Devin Warlord. But you are the star of said clip called "Are You Sure About That?" I'm going to post in chat right now. Tell us what's going on in this clip, please.
No idea, haven't watched it.
Well, it's in chat now if you want to watch it.
It's Dark Souls, so it's probably me saying something like, I can do this, or something along those lines, and then dying,
Yeah,
I think,
that's something that Devin
is
would
the
like.
most. Yeah.
It is something. That, oh, by the way, if Minnie wins Weebiest Weeb and Gamiest Gamer, that'll be the first time that's ever happened. Interesting. Oh, Sarah said you are correct. um.
Yeah,
mhm.
I can imagine that. It's very Devon humor that me trying to hype myself up before a fight, the fight goes wrong, and then Devon, yep, I'm going to clip that.
Yep, that's very him. You are also nominated for Best NHC Tabletop Character once again. You have three characters in your folder. You're going to tell me which one you want. Here, maybe you could rank them. How about that? You have Frank from the Yarzen Job,
Okay.
Frank from the Yarzen Job, Anne once again from Chaos Gremlin Crew, and Noten from the Haunting. Uh, on a scale of 1 to 3, rank each one based one being the one you want to win the most, second and third.
So I would want Anne to win the most, then Noten, then Frank.
Really?
But that is not how I expect it to go.
How do you expect it to go? That's a great question.
I think Noten is going to be way ahead of the others because he is not just a character, he is a phenomenon at
Yeah,
this point.
He's pretty iconic at this point. Yeah, he's become pretty iconic.
Anne is great, but she just has not achieved the level of notoriety that Noten has.
Notoriety.
Exactly.
Thank you, thank
And
you.
then Frank, I think, will be in last because they were only used in one shot
Oh,
that not many people have seen,
oh I want.
despite the fact that
Frank's so
Frank
good.
is also a disaster.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Because whenever I make D&D characters, they are going to be a disaster in some way or another. It's just what sort of disaster are they?
Perfect. You are nominated for Best NHE Tabletop Cast 3 times. You have the Yarzen Job, Chaos Gremlin Crew, and The Haunting. Which one do you think is going to win the most?
That's difficult. I think Yaz and Job definitely last out of those three. But the Haunting this year has actually been pretty big.
Oh yes, oh yes,
Surprisingly so, to the point that I think it could pass Chaos Gremlins.
oh yes, possibly. I think so. Best NHC long short form campaign. You're up against you have Justice in Chains. You're up against Chaos Gremlin Crew, Echoes of the Past, Occult and Wizardry Law Enforcement, The Haunting, and Guild of the Gladiators. Do you think Justice in Chains can pull it out again?
No.
No.
I think it's going to the Haunting.
You think The Hauntings? Oh, Kitten would die. Can you imagine if Kitten? Oh wow, if Kitten won best campaign, that would be pretty iconic. Um, so if you're predicting, who do you think is going to win Game Master of the Year then? You're up against Spider Monkey, the Colonel, Pancake, Gigart, Dio, and Kitten. Who do you think's going to win?
I think I may win that one, though.
A four-peat? You think you're going to win a four-peat?
Possibly.
Wow, wow. Only there's who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
That would be amazing though. That would be amazing. You have several best quotes. I'm going to attempt to post them all in chat here. You can tell me your
And
favorite one. Go ahead.
I will cry and then say, sadly, the most boring one is going to win.
Oh yeah, probably. Um, so here's you can explain them as I post them. You got about I think you have five. So thankfully 3 of them are right in front of me. Um, here you go. And then you can explain the next 2 when I post them.
So the first one is in mod chat.
Where all the best
Fire
quotes are.
and Dio are not able to add notes to people's names anymore. And so, just to demonstrate that I could still do so, I added a note to Fire's profile saying, not good at games. And you know
Thanks.
what? That can possibly win.
It's very different. It's very different. Okay,
I
there's the
don't think it's
rest.
a great nomination, but it feels like the sort of one that would win.
Fair
Because I
enough.
just think that's very simple, but in fact, several of these are very simple. The Fire has one account for every X he has. Another very simple one, which, while I'm not that impressed with it, I can see it winning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, read that third one. I want you to
The
read that
third
third one.
one, now, I think this one, out of the three so far, is my favorite, which is, so Fire is in Maine. Is this what people mean when they say horny on Maine?
I hate it. And then Spider comments, "Thanks, I hate it,"
Exactly.
which is
It
great.
is the sort of terrible pun that I love.
Oh, honestly, we should add Spider to that. That's a funny nomination. Um. Uh.
The next
Yeah. Go
one
ahead.
is less of a quote and more of an RP at this point, which is Fire going, lift me, Nollam, lift me. Me going, you are the queen of the world. Oh, Nollam, I'll never let you go. Oh dear, you drowned in the end. A watery grave. How ironic. No, I'm Rose in this. You drowned. How dare you think I'm not Kate Winslet?
That's true.
Which I think that is just a great encapsulation of our relationship, Fire,
100%. 100%. Um, okay.
where we
Yeah,
both make references to media and both of us assume we are the woman in the relationship.
absolutely right. Absolutely right.
The next one is Soph saying all the channels are now simple and clean, and me just responding with, unlike Fire, who is complex and dirty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, the last two nominations you have are for best NEC event for What's That Wednesday. What do you think? How do you think you're going to fare in that one?
I don't think it's going to win because it's up against this podcast again,
Up against this podcast
correct?
again. That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think this award-winning podcast has the heli locked down.
Well, you said it, not me. And finally, mod of the year. How do you think you're going to do?
I'm
Or who do
aiming
you think
for
you're going to win?
third.
Who do you think is going to make first then?
I always think that Dio should get first for best mod.
Well, Dia got it last year. Think Dia's going to get it again?
Yeah, I feel like Dio is just a good all-round mod. Yeah,
Fair enough.
they're active in the RP section, which is one of the busiest sections, and have poured a lot of lifeblood into it.
That is true. That's very true.
At the point that mod chat, you can see how much effort they put into it through comments in the mod chat. I'll just say that.
Oh boy. Well, swerving out of that drama. Here's a question. Here's a new question I've added to the questions. What heli did you lose out of your entire tenure in the helis that you wish you hadn't?
How about the 2 times I lost to Deku?
Yeah, that makes sense. Weebiest Weeb. Next question. Are you an NHC legend?
I suppose I am,
That's right. Simple and
surprisingly.
asked and answered. And what are your goals for this year in New Hell City?
My goal is to win a heli that I'm not nominated for yet.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at that.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to do so. Now we're at fan question time. I'm going to do something a little bit different because I have to go talk to my roofer really quick. So, Nalum, I'm going to have you take over. I want you to read the questions and then answer them and say who they're from, not in that order.
I'll
Questioner,
say it in any order that I wish, Fire.
you know what? It's your time. It's your time to shine. You know what? You go forth. I will be back. You all go nuts, but follow the rules. One question per Hellion, 20 questions in total. All that stuff. Take it away, Nalum.
So, Minnie asks, who do you think is winning Scenic Screenshot? And honestly, no idea. I've got a feeling that it'll be Pepper because Pepper has this whole video game aura that when it comes to video game stuff, she usually wins the helis. And from Soury, what has been your favorite natural 20 to roll and natural 1 in your D&D adventures? With a follow-up of, do you think you have good luck or bad luck with dice rolls? And I'll say, all of my natural 20s are my favorite natural 20s because I get them so infrequently. And my favorite natural one is, as well, all of them, because for natural ones, I roll them all the time. I have bad luck with dice. There's a story I can tell about one session of Ruses, which is a D&D campaign that I did with Fire. And we had a session that we called the Session of Twos, because we rolled a 2 pretty much exclusively that entire session. It was absolutely insane. Then Minnie asks, favorite anime of all time? That is a difficult question to answer. I like quite a lot of them. I like the Tatami Galaxy, which I think is really great. Then there is Natsume Yujin Show, or Natsume's Book of Friends, which is also really great. Psycho Pass Season 1, not the other seasons, is really great. There's Engaged to the Unidentified, which is brilliant. It would be easier to list my favorite 20 or 50 anime. And so Tabascus asks, any weird D&D habits that you catch yourself doing? Yes. I will roll even though there is no need to. I just need to play with the dice when they're in front of me. So I'll just grab the dice and roll, even though my character's not even in the scene, it's with other people, just so that I can see the dice rolling. And when I roll badly on those, I'll go, hopefully I'm getting all of the bad rolls out of my system. And when I roll well during them, I'll go, I wish I rolled that when I was actually rolling for something. And Saori asks, what has been my favorite character anyone has created for a D&D campaign that I've ran? And what is my favorite campaign that I've played in? So, my favorite character someone's had for a campaign I've run, I'll say that it'll be Sayun. While there's been quite a lot of great characters, Sayun is criminally overlooked, and so I'll go with them, which is Spider's character from Dawnbreak. She is a warrior woman who, her stats and fighting style was so great, she completely ruined many combat encounters I came up with because she could do certain strategies that just completely destroyed what I had set up. And my favorite campaign that I've played in, I'll say that it has to be Chaos Gremlins, which is currently going. Because I love playing Anne. Anne is cute. And so, next question. What tips will you give to someone that's just starting D&D? So, one, I'd say don't get too worked up over the rules. The DMs are always there to help you. What you should focus on more instead is just having a good time and playing your character. And I'd also suggest to not fall into a newbie trap, which is making your first D&D character basically yourself. Because if bad things happen to that character, or you get in an argument with other player characters, it'll feel a lot more personal if you see that character as a self-insert. So try, at least when you're starting off, play a character who's very different to yourself and see where things go. And these also fit into do's and don'ts of D&D. And another thing to remember is that D&D is a social game. It's all about playing with your friends. And so try not to make characters that will either go off on their own and ignore the rest of the player characters, or act like a jerk, or do other things that just ruins everyone else's fun. It's best to play a character that works with the group. They can still have conflict with other people, but don't ruin things for everyone else. And so Swift is typing up a question, and Sauri's next question is, if you had to live in a campaign of D&D that you created, which one would you want to live in? It would have to be Justice in Chains, since out of all of the campaigns that have been ran, that's the only one in a modern day setting. So I'd have internet, so I could watch anime and other stuff like that. I don't think I'd survive very well in several other of the campaigns. Either as an NPC or a PC, I'd probably die. And if I could make an anime, what would be the genre and concept of it? If I was allowed to make an anime, and which studio would you ask to make an animation of it? Good question. I'm not sure if it's just an adaptation of something that already exists. I'd really like to see Studio Bones make an adaptation of the Instant Death light novels, since I think they would actually do really well with it. Instant Death is basically the One Punch Man of isekai, where the main character is completely overpowered, but they play it for laughs. And it's really great. And Taka asks, what has been a moment that you didn't expect from a player that derailed the campaign quite a bit? And do you think it was better than what was planned? And I'll say, these groups always derail the campaign. Whether it's better than what was planned, who's to say, since we never got to saw how what was planned play out. But even when fire is not in the session, sometimes things get derailed completely. For example, in Justice in Chains, I set up them infiltrating a tower to save Fire's character who was taken hostage. And so, Fire's character was taken hostage. Fire can't do anything to derail it. I created several different ways that they could sneak into the tower. And so, the way that they actually infiltrated was nothing that I expected. They didn't take the canal that goes to a dry dock or anything like that. Instead, they lit the tower on fire, and after that just walked in through the front door, which, not very stealthy whatsoever. And the session before that, they dealt with Yakuza by lighting an entire building on fire while they were still in the building, which, that is basically their problem solving. Just put everything on fire. The craziest moment like that was definitely Dragoon's character, Elia, with a bow and arrow, killing another character just to win a car chase. It was a car race that they were taking part in, and she took to lethal action to make sure that they won. And so, Swift, any D&D character you want to make that you haven't tackled before? Yes, I have an entire Excel spreadsheet filled with player characters that I would like to use. Some of them I have actually played before, several I have not. And Taka asks, how many times has Fire tried to seduce people? And have you tried to punish him in-game for trying to seduce too many times? Yes, I have tried to punish him in-game, though surprisingly, Bath has not tried to seduce people. His character in Justice in Chains,
That
which I was expecting Bath to try to seduce everyone in Justice in Chains. So I set up things to punish him for that, including coming up with a really, really awkward love hotel scene. I came up with that specifically to see how awkward I can get to try and put Fire off. But Bath is not actually that kind of character, and so it never came up, which was have a basically a Scylla girl, a girl who is octopus from the waist down, and have her try to hook up with Bath at a love hotel, only for her to realize that, oh, they know them before. So I was hoping to just try and make things extremely awkward when she realizes that the person she's hitting on, oh, they've talked to them before in a completely different situation, just to see how awkward can I get before Fire gives in and just gives up on that situation. And so what stereotypes from D&D are true and which ones aren't? And what player DM stereotype would I put myself into? I'm not sure what the stereotypes from D&D are or what stereotype I would be. I am very out of tune with the general population, I'll say. And Swift asks, what place in Japan do you think is underappreciated? I'd say quite a lot of Japan is underappreciated, even to Japanese people. One of the things that has came up when I've been learning Japanese is towards the north of Japan, there's an area that has a accent of Japanese that is apparently so difficult to understand that they'll even subtitle it for other Japanese speakers. And I've came across that while trying to learn Japanese. And I just think that if even other Japanese people want subtitles for it, maybe that area of Japan needs a little bit of love. And Taka asks, what's my inspiration for campaigns and where does it come from? And does my love for anime ever bleed in with D&D? My love of anime does appear quite a lot in D&D. It's just that quite often the anime that I'm referencing, no one else in the session knows about. So they'll think that I'm extremely creative and that I'm not just referencing random anime that no one's ever heard of. And my inspirations, actually for D&D, it comes more from video games than anime. Don't know why, but video games just feel more D&D to me. It's like there was a lot of Metal Gear Solid sort of stuff that appeared in Dawnbreak, and it is very Yakuza and Judgment for Justice in Chains. And Fire asks, what character from Dawnbreak or Justice would you most, and which one would you least like to have dinner with? So, as Justice in Chains and Dawnbreak both have very murderous casts. I'd say the one that I'd most want to have dinner with would probably be Lewis, since it's the safest. And least, I think probably Wilhelm. Because Wilhelm, one, could randomly just decide to murder me, or two, would just break down into tears and start spilling their entire life story to me. I can only see a dinner with them going either those two ways: death, or oh no, they're sobbing at the other side of the table. What do I do? How does it feel to be such a beloved member of NHC? I feel extremely honored, and I hope to keep myself to a level of, I'll just use honor, even though that's not really the word I'm looking for, so I don't disappoint the people who love me. Why do I hate Cowboy Bebop? I don't hate it, I just find it boring fire. There's just something about it that it just does not resonate with me emotionally whatsoever, which I find really fascinating because a huge group of people seem to resonate with it emotionally, but it doesn't for me. And that is interesting to me, since it's just, why does it resonate with everyone else and why doesn't it me? So from Taka, what is my favorite spell use that I've done so far? And what spell do I hate? So I really love I really love using spells that are just very utility, but using them in weird ways. So possibly my favorite one was as Anne enchanting eggs to throw at Steve, Fire's character. So I made one egg smell like it was a rotten egg, and just giving the other eggs, when they're thrown, random magical effects. It was pretty fun. And spells or moves that I hate. Well, most hated move is definitely either the Monk's Stunning Strike or Sayun's Shield Bash, because both of which in Dawnbreak ended up trivializing a lot of enemies that I designed to be extremely imposing and difficult, and then the monk of the group and Sayun ended up just crushing the entire setup, and these supposedly scary and imposing villains die without inflicting any damage on the group. So from Fire, the cast of Dawnbreak and the cast of Justice in Chains have to play dodgeball. Which character is winning the game? For dodgeball in particular, I think it would be Michael, but I would be terrified of both Sayun and Teoweath. So, what role do I prefer? Being a DM or a player? Why? And what do you think is the most important part when you're playing a DM? Playing DM? With each role? So, Taka asked that, and I'd say I prefer being player, but like with most DMs, you just find yourself sort of trapped as DM, in that you keep just DMing more and more campaigns. But I prefer being player just because being a DM means a lot of time setting it up and planning things out. Being a DM is a lot more work. And what's the most important part when you are playing DM with each role? I'd just say show the DM respect and show the players respect and try and keep things to be pretty fine within the group. So, Swift, what's a pet peeve of D&D you tend to get annoyed at when other people do it? So this isn't just a pet peeve of mine, but it is a pet peeve of a lot of people, it seems, in D&D, which is the, well, it's what my character would have done excuse for doing things that really upset the table. The example is I brought up earlier the things that people shouldn't do when they're playing D&D as a character who is a jerk to the other player characters on purpose in a way that just saps the fun out for everyone. You can create a character that annoys everyone at the table and no one wants you to play like that, and then you can defend it with just how my character would have reacted in that situation, but it doesn't make it any better. So, what do you think of your first roleplay experience from Taka, and what do you think you could improve on? And do you want to try it again sometime? So, I thought my first roleplay experience, I'm guessing in the RP section, it was pretty great. What I could improve on is just the timing when it comes to RPs, and why I prefer D&D is just that when it comes to the RPs, I have this feeling like I need to be on the screen at all times, just reading everything to be present for everything. Whereas D&D, you just set out a couple hours. Okay, I'm going to play D&D for those hours. I'm going to give it my full concentration, and then it's over. Whereas the role plays, I feel like I need to give it that amount of concentration 24/7, which is impossible. So, do I want to try it again? Maybe. It was fun, but just the way that I feel like I need to be at the screen 24/7 means I think it's best if I don't take part in RP, at least in that sort of form. And so, Fire asks what my favorite D&D moment of all time is, and how can I not say the stables moment or the moment where fire burnt down a theatre, because they are just the most iconic NHC D&D moments, to the point that we've had similar moments in other campaigns as well, where someone accidentally fireballs the building that they're in. It even happened in Dawnbreak, not just Ruse's fire. It's just, it seems to be one of our D&D moments that it's going to keep on happening. What is my game of the year so far this year? Probably, is Scarlet Nexus this year? My sense of time is terrible. So I'm just going to say Scarlet Nexus. If it wasn't this year, it was this year, that's good. So I'm not completely out of it yet. Elden Ring was good, but I'm not the biggest fan of open world games, and several of my problems with open world games still exist in Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring would have actually been a way better game if instead of being open world, they just took all of the what they're calling legacy dungeons in the game and just setting them out in a more Dark Souls 1 fashion. I think the game would have been a lot stronger. What's the hardest part when you're creating a character for a campaign? Is the just coming up with their builds and stats, trying to make them work well for how I want them to play. And that was from Taka, who also asks, what's the hardest part about creating a campaign? For me, that's scaling all of the fights to try and make them not ridiculously difficult, that it'll just wipe the party completely, but not too easy that there really didn't need to be a fight because everyone just won instantly. Just trying to get the level of difficulty right for each fight in a campaign is surprisingly difficult. What is the game that I am most excited to come out from Fire? And I have no idea. I do not know many games that are coming out. I generally hear about games once they've already came out, but I am looking forward to whatever FromSoft's next game is going to be. So Scarlet Nexus was 2021? Oh no. So Fire asks, when are we going to see some of your writing in NHC? What you're working on? I'll say, when I hinted that the heli that I want to win this year is one that I'm not nominated for yet, I'll just say, maybe that ties into your question, Fire. And Taka asks, if you could make NHC into a D&D campaign, what would it be about? What do you think the setting and story would be? I'll say Justice in Chains. It is actually set in NHC, and several people from the Discord have appeared in it. Things that we've had so far includes Jax and Ray being commentators in a fight pit. We've had Haley appearing, talking about her cosplay. What else have we had, Fire? Since we've had all sorts of things appear. We've got an upcoming thing in Justice in Chains, which hopefully they'll run into, which is the new Halcyon, which it has a ton of references to the Discord hidden in it, but we'll see. So talking about NHC from Taka, what do you think would be as a D&D character? What do you think you would be as a D&D character, and do you think you would last through an entire campaign or die midway through? So, as a D&D character, I'd probably be a bard. And bards in 5e are actually pretty good, especially a lore bard, which that's definitely what I'd end up being. So hopefully I would be able to last an entire campaign. And I'm also someone who is very cautious. For example, in Ruses, the very last session we had of that, we were fighting against a huge undead dragon. And I'll just say that the fight looked like it could go either way. And I'll just say that there might be a reason that my character was closest to the exit when things looked like they weren't going well, and may have abandoned the entire party to escape on their own, if things went that way. And Fire asks, what's the most wild moment in New Hell City? Which I'll just say the most recent wild moment would be just me having to bloody my hands as a mod here with that possibly one person raid where I ended up banning possibly the same person so many times, and by the end of it I was banning them faster than several of the other mods who are also on the lookout for the more people joining in the raid. And so Taka asks, what is my favorite death I've witnessed from a player character? And what is my favorite encounter in battle? Favorite death of a player character? Possibly recently, I killed Bath and I had them revived, but I think it's a great death because it's sort of a warning to Fire that if he continues playing his character in a way that is semi-suicidal, I will have his character permanently killed. So it's a great death because I'm using it as a threat for the future. And what is my favorite encounter or battle? I'd say in Dawnbreak, I had a fight set up with one really powerful character who was spawning these orbs that if these orbs were not killed in 3 rounds, they'd insta-kill the entire party. And so 2 of the players were fighting against this really powerful character, while one was just rushing around the entire battlefield, taking down each of the orbs, which it just made for a really interesting fight, even though it was sort of trivialized by the one strong person being stunned for the entire fight. But the insta-death orbs still worked out really well. So Swift asks, a hobby that I've tried that no matter how much I tried to get into it, I realized it wouldn't be the best for me. No idea. I wouldn't call it a hobby, but I did used to do long distance running. The reason why I don't consider it a hobby is I never enjoyed it, but I felt sort of obligated to take part in them when I was a kid because one of my parents is a huge sports fan and is very pushy about getting his kids to take part in sports. To the point that when I was, 10 or so, I was actually doing long distance runs representing an entire county of the UK. That was the level that I was running at. But luckily, I managed to get out of that. So, what is the hardest part of being a mod from Fire? And I'd say that it is dealing with people in the more therapy way, being a therapy mod. Because there's several people who sometimes they're having a really bad day and you want to help, but I don't want to say things that actually makes the day worse. And I don't think I am the best therapy mod. So I want to help, but I don't think I am the best equipped to help people. And so Taka asks, if you compare myself to before I knew about Fire and entered NHC, what would I say has changed the most about me? And is there something from the past that I wish didn't change? The thing that I wish didn't change? Not sure. But what do I think changed the most? I think I've became a lot more sociable and I'm much better at social situations. And I think my confidence has gotten better. I think part of that is also down to streaming on Twitch, which happened. I started around the same time I met Fire, so I think both NHC and streaming on Twitch has just gotten me a lot more comfortable with talking to people, because I still think that my social skills are possibly my weakest point, but I think that they've definitely improved. Fire asks, what's my favourite null mode? It has to be between Nollam Cookie and Nollam Cute, because I really like that bow in my hair. Purple is one of my favourite colours, but I do like those cookies. So Swift asks, what's my favourite moment from the very first thing I have streamed on Twitch ever? So this is also since it's the first thing that I streamed on Twitch ever, I'll talk about my first stream, which I'll say this is a favourite moment in a very self-deprecating way, but it shows how much that I've improved, was that I was absolutely nervous during my first Twitch stream, despite the fact that there was, 2 or 3 people watching, all of which are people that I already knew and were friends with. So I didn't need to be as nervous as I was, but I was completely dying on the inside and just so nervous that the moment I noticed that there was a technical difficulty happening, I was over the moon, because then I had an excuse to end the stream. I was just that overly nervous that I was happy for having technical difficulties. I wanted any excuse I could to end the stream. And so Fire asks, which Hellions are you taking in your zombie apocalypse team? I think Aragorn would be one of the most survivable people, so maybe them. I also think that Cap'n would probably be a very survivable person. And also, I think that... So, Cap'n, Ara, who else? That I think would just be able to survive a zombie apocalypse pretty well. Sig as well. Sig, I think he could just crush the zombies because he's huge. And then I just be in the back helping with farming or setting things up, making clean water and stuff like that. So I'd help with more creating stuff, but I'm definitely not the muscle, so I need a lot of help. I wouldn't be able to hunt for food, so I'd need the big, strong people to help. Aka asks if I could make Fire do one thing for a whole month without him being able to say no, what would I make him do? And I'd say I would not force Fire to do anything. Consent is important, kids. Remember that. And if I could change one thing about NHC for a month, what would I change? If I could change one thing about NHC, I think it would just be we've got tons and tons of different rooms. I would see if I can try to consolidate all of the rooms to make things quicker and easier to navigate. But I know that would cause a lot of chaos as well, which is why we haven't, because a lot of these channels are actually used. It's just there are quite a lot. Aka asks, from a scale of 0 to 100, how would you rate Fire's D&D skills? And about his luck. Fire is very lucky And I'd give Fire a 75 out of 100 for D&D skills. Fire is very, very good at the RP side of things, but he is poor at the rules side of things. So Fire thrives when he has people around him that can help in some moments. But when it comes to the RP itself, Fire is extremely talented. But don't tell him I said that, okay? And so, any more questions? Or is Fire going to unmute? Yeah, I know Fire is sitting right here and listening. But I had to say that to make it seem like I am being a lot less. I don't know the right way to put it, but I'm just playing with Fire's feelings. So, 19 from Taka. If you had an anti-you, how would they be? I would despise them for that bit, and if we had a battle, who would win? The anti-me would be a not very smart, very emotional bigot. So, who'd probably be really good at all the sports. So, but would get tired very quickly because the only thing that I'm good at sports wise is that maybe it's because of all that long distance running I did as a kid, but I do not get tired very quickly. So I think I would win the fight, but only if I outlasted him. And so Swift asks, would you ever make a better Prime Minister of the UK or a better leader of NHC than Fire? I think it's harder to get a better leader of NHC than Fire, but a better Prime Minister of the UK? Probably. If it's about anyone who is Prime Minister currently and could be soon becoming a Prime Minister, I think I'm better than all of those candidates because they're all horrible people. Because UK politicians are absolutely terrible. And there are very few that are decent. And the media loves to demonize all the decent ones. So I can easily see that if I was Prime Minister, the media would turn on me instantly. I am far too left-leaning for the media. And so, what's Fire typing? Which of the NHC young'uns has it been most odd to see grow up? Definitely Deku. The thing about Deku is they went from the kid who talks about anime with me a lot to, oh, they're this guy in college who posts pictures of them hanging out with their friends every so often, and that's about it. And that is just a scary transformation. The other one would be Bila, who almost did the opposite in that as they've gotten older, they've gotten into anime, which that is brilliant. More people should be more into anime. So Isa asks, what's my favorite color? I'm a weird person in that my favorite is actually black and white. I am a very monochrome person, but if you don't count either of them as colors, then my favorite would definitely be purple, which is like the bow I put on my Nollam cute Noll moat. So if I had to watch one anime on repeat for an entire month, what would you choose from Taka? And so I'll say that to learn Japanese, that's sort of what I've been doing. I'm just watching the same 5 anime over and over again because repetition is a great tool to learn a new language. So I've chosen anime that have very slice of life language because that's the sort of thing that you learn first in a language. But I've been watching the same 5 anime in Japanese on repeat for not just 1 month, but several months now. And if I had to delete one of my favorite anime forever, which one would I choose? I'll go for a weird answer with Needless, because while I really enjoy Needless and think it's a great anime and manga series, I also understand that it is extremely problematic and I would not recommend it to anyone because of these really problematic elements to it. It doesn't stop me from enjoying it, but I do understand that, yeah, it is pretty bad in some respects.
Yay! You did it, Nollam. You did all of the things. Good job. Very good. We're going to slide right into those rapid fire questions. Don't you laugh at me, Nollam. Don't you laugh at
Oh,
me.
I'm going to laugh,
How dare you?
but all of this talking has kind of made me thirsty.
Yeah, I imagine. We have been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're going to wrap this bitch up. And we're going to go through these rapid fire questions. Are you ready? Yes, you are. Here we go.
Okay.
Um, what are you terrible at?
I'm terrible at social situations.
Not true. What are you amazing at?
What did you say?
I
You
just said,
broke up a bit.
oh, I said, what are you amazing at?
I am amazing at video games. Take that, fire.
How dare you? That's coming up later. What is your favorite thing to do?
Watch anime,
What is your least favorite thing to do?
sports,
Do
or go to parties. Though I wouldn't call going to parties my least favorite thing to do because I don't do that.
do I look pretty today?
Of course.
Better be. Name something you would set on fire.
You.
A shower. You have to pack up your stuff today and go live with one Hellion. Who is it?
So I'd go with Dragoon.
Choice. You have to switch lives and bodies with one Hellion for one day. Who is it?
Hmm. Can I just pass?
Wow, okay. We've never had a pass before, but sure, you can pass.
Because I'm happy enough being me.
It's one day, Nollam. It's not forever.
Yeah, but that's one day. Just imagine all the anime I could watch in that one day.
Oh my god. You watch the anime as the person. Anyway, whatever. What is your favorite
Some
word?
people have jobs though, Fire. I
Pixel?
wouldn't want to go to their jobs.
What is your favorite word?
I'll go with Pixides. I think I probably said that last time.
I don't remember it. What is your least favorite word?
Any swear word
Why
or
are
any slur.
why are video games so hard?
Video games aren't that hard, but I'd say the biggest thing that makes games difficult for me would be either one, they require co op, or two, they require reaction speeds that are beyond me.
Why is anime so confusing?
Anime is not confusing, Fire.
What is one required viewing, watching, playing, or reading thing for all humans?
I'd actually go with the visual novel Kato wa Shoujo, just because it is a really cute visual novel, which is basically about a guy who ends up going to a disabled school, and it's sort of showing that disabled people are people too. So that's why I'd recommend it to people, because it's humanizing disabled people. There's actually a manga that announced that it's getting an anime recently called. I have it open on my window somewhere. I just have so many different manga open. Well, it's about a school delinquent who falls in love with a blind girl. And it is a really cute manga. And it's actually announced that it's getting an anime adaptation soon. So look forward to that, Fire.
What noise or sound do you love?
The sound of anime.
What noise or sound do you hate?
I do not like loud noises.
What is your favorite curse word?
Don't have one.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I said this last time, but making clothes would be fun. I watched The Great British Sewing Bee,
What
and I am trying to learn how to sew.
what profession would you not like to attempt?
Anything in retail.
When you get to hell, what would you like Satan to say to you when you arrive at those fiery gates?
Free pizza? No cheese?
Oh, I'm so angry. Good job,
Take
Nollam.
that, Fire.
You are such a poopy pants.
I
Well,
had to bring it up at some
I
point.
knew you would. I thought we'd get through one interview without it, but welcome to the two interviewees club. Good job, Nollam. You are an absolute flippin' legend. I keep trying not to curse around you, but I can't help it. It's who I am. Nollam,
Don't
you're
worry. Cursing is something that I do not do, but enough people do it that I'm not going to judge them for. Otherwise, I'd be judging 90% of humankind.
so I am so happy that you're a beloved member, a legend. You are iconic. You will always be iconic. You will never not be iconic. And everyone adores you and loves you, right, gang? Everybody loves Nollam,
And I adore everyone too, except the people we ban.
except the people we ban. Nollam, where can people find you? Where can people hang out with you? All of those things.
I'm often in the Discord just looking, but I also stream on Twitch. I have a Twitter, which we've actually linked to at one point of this because my clip was on Twitter.
Amazing, amazing.
So, though
And
I very rarely actually tweet anything just because Twitter, it's a hellscape.
and
So,
yes, of course it is. And what? And this is a new question I haven't asked before. What is one category in the Hellies that people should vote for you? Definitely vote for you for, if any.
the Weebiest Weeb category,
Yeah,
because why not?
because why not? Nalum, we love you. You're the best around. Tell the kids goodbye. End this long ass interview.
Okay, we're not doing the ask.
We don't have any Ask NHCs. I know we normally do. We don't have any.
Hmm,
One day we will. Maybe for now, episode
let's
3.
con- let's consider this a good thing that a lot of people are happy
Yep, we
that they
solved all
aren't
their
needing
problems.
help.
That's right. We solved all the problems in the world. Good job. All right, tell
So
them.
come to NHC, we solve all the problems.
Mhm. That's right.
Unless you're a problem, then we'll ban you.
And that's all written on a T-shirt. Have a good night,
Yep.
folks.
Bye bye.
We did it, folks. Good job. Good job, everybody. All right, we're ending
Good
this.
job.